Is it Jake Walman or is it Jake Ballman?
Oh, because balls.
Because it's brought to you by Manscaped. That's SDPN's trade deadline brought to you by Manscaped. Whether you're suiting up for a big trade or gearing up for the playoffs, Beard and Balls Bundle from Manscaped, your all-in-one grooming solution. Here's the deal. Use the promo code DANGLE, 20% off and free international shipping at manscaped.com. Jake Walman, you are now an Edmonton Oiler from the San Jose Sharks. Carl Berglund and a conditional 2026 first-round pick going the other way. And the condition is this. If the selection is in the top 12, Edmonton may choose to transfer their pick to the 2027 first-round selection. So basically it slides if Edmonton has a horrific next year.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
But
which is possible.
Yeah. So, but let's talk about the player because, Jake Walman was a guy that was Steve Yzerman paid a second-round pick for the Sharks to take this man before the draft last year.
So I had the deal. June 25th, 2024, the Red Wings sent Walman and the 53rd overall pick to the Sharks for no good reason.
Nothing.
No good reason. Like I know
it was because he made $3.4 million. I think that was the good reason, and the Detroit Red Wings wanted to spend.
Yes,
salary cap dump for a player who, so I got the Oilers press release. This is who the Red Wings dumped. Walman, 6'1", 218 pounds, 29 years old, skated in 50 games for the Sharks this season, tallying 6 goals and 26 assists, along with 36 penalty minutes. He departs San Jose, leading the team's D-men in points, 32, assists, 26, time on ice per game, 23-11, and block shots, 111, while ranking second in takeaways, 23, and third in total penalty kill time on ice, 132 minutes and 59 seconds. I know he wanted that extra second.
Also does a mean gritty.
Yes, he does a mean gritty, and the Edmonton Oilers get some grit.
Well, they have been thin on defense this year. They've noticed that Cody Ceci, Broberg, Vinny Desharnais even all gone off their Stanley Cup run roster. Jake Walman, guys, how does he change this defense that's been really leaky this year?
Oh, can we just hammer how embarrassing this is for Steve Yzerman?
Oh, do you want to continue?
Yeah,
I don't think that point has been made hard enough. This is completely embarrassing. I don't remember a trade in recent memory where you trade a guy for literally nothing and less than 6 months later.
No, less than nothing, Jesse.
Oh, less than
They paid to get rid of him.
Less than you paid. You paid. And about 8 months-ish later, he's moved for a first.
And you're out of a playoff spot right now. Like you take that risk. You take that risk and you make your team way better. I think people forgive you.
Exactly.
They're not bad.
If they're good, who cares? But you're also bad. And this is a player who the Red Wings could use right now because they need the talent to get back into the playoff spot. And
they are one spot out. They could.
We listen to Red Wings fans a little bit and how much confidence they have in Steve Yzerman. I think that needs to start fading fast because he hasn't proven over his entire tenure as Red Wings general manager and president, I believe as well, that he has great asset management. And this is just the cherry on top of a failed tenure.
Well, I think the Detroit Red Wings fans are for sure losing faith in the Yzer plan. I think that's been part of the problem all year, and I think one of the issues is you look at some of the defense that they have let go. And again, I know we got to get to the Oilers here in a second, but I also want to just tell you that remember the Canucks got Philip Roenick for a first and second round draft pick a couple of years ago.
Prices have changed.
Well, prices have changed. But beyond that, and I know that they needed to make room for Moritz Seider on the power play and that sort of thing. So for Roenick and for Walman, you have a first and a second to show for it.
No,
and
you have
actually,
first.
just the first.
No,
actually.
You have less.
Because you traded
They traded away assets to get rid of Jake Walman, who Steve Yzerman himself signed to this 3-year contract that he's still on February 28th, 2023.
And what are they doing?
A year and a half later, he makes the decision to send out assets to get rid of him. 8 months after that, somebody sends him out and acquires assets back for him. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And what are they doing? They're facilitating trades this deadline. Are you a buyer? Are you a seller?
Nothing.
They could easily make a trade today that helps get the team over the hump and into the playoffs. and competing with the Sens and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they're trying to get rid of Vlad Tarasenko, but I don't think there's a lot of takers there. So, we'll see.
There should be. He won a cup last year.
Yeah, but
Edmonton's got a good defenseman.
absolutely. So let's talk about that. Darnell Nurse, Troy Stetcher, Brett Kulak, Evan Bouchard, Cam Dineen, and Ty Emberson.
Now,
the last time the Oilers played. Now I understand that there's an injury there.
Yes.
But that is thin. Even with Ekholm out, that's thin.
Yeah, but then
Ekholm in, sorry.
and Walman.
Yeah. Now
All of a sudden, that looks a lot better.
So where do you think he kind of fits into this? Because he's a left shot defenseman. Is he playing with? Because you got Nurse on the left, you got Kulak on the left, and you got Cam Dineen on the left.
Some lefty is gonna have to play the right. Based on the way things are right now, Cam Dineen is an easy out. Just based on age and everything. Then it's a conversation between Stetcher and Emberson. I imagine Emberson stays, but you got a formidable left side then. Obviously, Evan Bouchard, is your right side on D. But not that this is the same, but Tampa, when they went on their reign of terror, that may or may not even be over, their right side was very pieced together.
Yep.
It was guys like Zach Bogosian and Luke Shen and Eric Cernak, but beginning of his career, Eric Cernak, and Jan Ruda, but beginning of his career, Jan Ruda. It was Hedman, McDonough, Sergachev. Killer. As long as you have one killer on each pair, you should be okay. And you could argue Edmonton does.
Now, for the San Jose Sharks and Mike Greer, this seems just like another win. Obviously, you've got Carl Berglund going the other way, but another first-round pick for them. At some point, they are going to have to start buying.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. They can buy a lot. They already have $38 million in current cap space, based on the deadline projections, but 8.5 in real dollars.
Yeah.
So they can facilitate trades today, and coming up next year, it's kind of looking like they're going to have a lot of money to spend. $44.7 million is what Puckpedia projects them to have at this point.
In business, in competitive business like the NHL, you need to take advantage of your opportunities to rip your opponents off. Vegas did that to perfection in 2016, whenever their first year was, 2017. They did that to perfection. This is a seller's market, and you're one of the only true sellers out there. It's risky to strip it to the bone. Strip it down, get all those assets.
Buy it all back?
Buy it all back. Yeah, you can buy it in free agency. You can sign good guys to extensions. You could trade some of those pieces at the draft if you really want. You don't have to pick everybody. The more assets you have, the better. I think you rip everyone off this deadline and worry about the rest later, because it's not like losing games is going to break hearts.
Jesse, what do you think about the job Mike Greer's done?
This is the most fun time for a Sharks fan, and a fun time as a general manager, because it's all gravy. You're in a seller's market, like Steve said, and you're just buying futures, and everything is a magic bean that can turn into something great. There's no downside to acquiring a first round pick when you are the worst team in the NHL. It's just all good stuff. So there's no criticism here. If you're acquiring great assets for the future, how can you not be really happy with what the Sharks are doing? The hardest thing to do is to build it back up. The tearing down is just fun. You're just having fun in the playhouse.
They have 6 picks in the first 4 rounds this year and 4 in the first 2 next year. So this is a team, 2 first rounders, 1 second, 1 third, 2 fourths, a 5th, and a 7th. And then next year, 2 firsts and 2 seconds. And the day ain't even done yet.
And you know what? All those players going to be the best player in the league.
Absolutely.
All of the draft picks, who knows?
You know what you can do? You don't even need to draft. You've got rock stars in the system. I mean, obviously this year I think you use your number 1 overall pick, but you can flip that for other stuff.
Sure.
Mario Ferraro, he might get traded.
Oh man,
sure. Luke Cunnin, he might get traded. There's a few other guys on the Sharks roster. I really wouldn't be stunned. Even everyone's always looking for depth. I don't think Barclay Goodrow is impossible. I don't think Klim Kostin is impossible. Timothy Liljegren that's my white whale.
No,
my
he's
white
staying. He's staying. No, they need him.
Something
They got
like
another year
Ferraro, I can totally see San Jose just holding on to him. He still has another year on his contract. You can always trade him next year. Like, there's no need to move everybody off your roster. You need somebody to play for you.
Or make him part of your future.
Yeah, or trade him at next trade deadline or keep him, whichever one you want.
I should have said Alex Wenberg also. I think he's a really good player.
There you go. So, SDPN's trade deadline coverage continues, probably with more San Jose Sharks content. A lot of content
yeah.
coming up.